Okay, good morning everybody. In my last lecture, I have taught you meter bridge, and in that experiment meter bridge, I have teach the total experimental detail while using meter bridge. What are precautions that we have to taken while using this experiment? Now, in today's lecture, I will going to teach you what can be probable error using meter bridge can happen. What are errors can happen while doing the experiments. So the errors, the first error that can happen while using the meter bridge is if wire is not uniform. Suppose while doing the experiment, the wire that you have taken for experimental purpose, if it is not uniform, then what will happen? Then if wire is not uniform, then while measurement of unknown resistance, there will be some error. And because of that error, yes, the reading that we have got is having some error. So while doing this experiment, you have to take care that the wire used in experiment should be of uniform cross section. Okay. Now, contact resistance developed at A and C. As we know, the wire is soldered or screwed at the two copper strips C1 and C2. Now, at that point C1 and C2, the contact resistance will develop, and this contact resistance develops an error in the measurement of unknown resistance X. So, to avoid this contact resistance, we have to take care that after 2 or 3 reading, you have to interchange the position of X unknown resistance and known resistance, that is resistance box. If you interchange the position of that two components, means unknown resistance and resistance box, then the contact resistance developed by the instrument becomes less. Third error that can happen while doing the experiment is that if the ends of the wire AC does not coincide or match with the 0 and 100 centimeter of scale. This error can also happen while doing the experiment. So try to match the ends of the wire with the 0 and 100 centimeter of a scale to get an exact reading while doing this experiment. And to minimize the error, we have to once again take into precaution that the null point that we should obtain while doing this experiment, it should be in between 33 centimeter to 67 centimeter in the middle of the wire. Why? Because of that, there will be less error if you take the null point while doing this experiment in the range of 33 centimeter to 67 centimeter of the meter bridge wire. These are some major precaution we have to take while doing this experiment. So with this probable error, discussion of probable error and how to minimize this probable error, we will move towards our next article, that is Kelvin's method. It is also an important article which is used, this method is given by Kelvin's to determine the unknown resistance of a galvanometer. So first of all that, I will draw the diagram of Kelvin's method. I think all of you got the very much clear idea about the meter bridge, Wheatstone's network, and the error that can come while doing this experiment. So what is Kelvin's method? Kelvin utilized the meter bridge to determine the unknown resistance of galvanometer. So first of all, I will draw the circuit for that. It also consists of two thick copper strips, that is here first copper strip is C1, here the middle copper strip is C3, it is C3, and the second copper strip, it is called as copper strip C2. Copper strip C2. Okay. So it consists of a long uniform wire which is 100 centimeter long and EMF E, a one-way key K. This is wire AC. This point is called as A. Another point it is called as C, and a rheostat denoted by RH. Now, at point B of copper strip C3, you have to connect to a jockey directly, and here the galvanometer whose resistance is to be determined is connected in the left gap of a meter bridge, and a known resistance, we can say here variable resistance, or you can here write RB. RB means resistance box, is connected into right gap of a meter bridge. Now, it is a cell having EMF E, it is a rheostat RH, and this is the circuit arrangement for the Kelvin's method. Suppose this point is D and it is a jockey. Now, as you look at the circuit diagram for Kelvin's method, if you observe the circuit diagram, then in this diagram we have connected galvanometer here in left gap and resistance box in right gap. A jockey is directly connected to a point B. Now, we will move towards working of this Kelvin's method. This method is also called as equal deflection method. Why? Because in this method you have to you need not to find a null deflection in galvanometer. Why? I will tell you in the working of this experiment. As soon as you close the key and this cell sends a current I through the wire and remaining circuit. Now, as soon as you close the key and current starts flowing through the circuit, then you have to you have to check the jockey by connecting it at point A and by tapping it at point C and observe the deflection in the galvanometer. If you observe that deflection in the opposite side, then your connection is okay. Then there is no need to change the connection. If it will not happen so, then try to check the connection. If some error will happen or loose connection will happen, then make it proper. Now, without touching the jockey to the wire AC, you observe the deflection in the galvanometer. Without touching the jockey to the wire AC, you have to note the deflection in the galvanometer, and if that deflection is in between 10 and 20, then put it as it is. Doesn't make any change in the rheostat or resistance box. If the deflection is less than 10 division or more than 20 division, then adjust the setting of rheostat or draw some resistance from resistance box RB and make the deflection in the galvanometer such that the deflection showed by the galvanometer should be in between 10 to 20 division. Okay. So, this procedure we have done without touching the jockey to the wire AC. Now, slightly tap the jockey at point A and it will move towards point C, and after some time you will see that the galvanometer shows the same deflection. After some time or at a certain point D from A, at a certain point D on wire AC, you observe a point D such that at this point either you touch the jockey to the wire AC or you remove the jockey from wire AC, you will observe the deflection remains same. There is no change in the deflection. The deflection showed by the galvanometer without touching the jockey to the wire and with touching the jockey to the wire will be same. So, that point is called as D, and why this happen? Because the potential of point B and the potential of point D remains it is equal. The potential of point B and D becomes same, therefore, the deflection in the galvanometer remains same. It means that at this condition, at point D, the change in deflection of the galvanometer will not change. It means that these 2 points are equipotential point and the bridge is in balanced condition. It means the ratio of resistance of G to the resistance of resistance box and the resistance of the wire AD and the resistance of the wire DC becomes equal in ratio. Means the ratio of G upon R, suppose this resistance we have taken as R, at this point D, the ratio of G by R is equals to resistance of AD, resistance of AD divided by resistance of DC. This ratio becomes equal. So now the main thing here is that now here the length AD we will take it as a LG. Why LG? Because this is the balancing length across galvanometer, and the length across resistance box will be taken as LG. This length will be taken as LR. The balancing length across galvanometer will be taken as LG, and the balancing length across resistance box will be taken as LR. Now, according to Wheatstone's network, when bridge is balanced, as I have already noted here, when bridge is balanced, then resistance of galvanometer divided by resistance of resistance box is equals to resistance of wire LG divided by resistance of wire LR. Resistance of wire having length LR. Suppose we have lambda is equals to resistance per unit length. Suppose lambda we have lambda is equals to resistance per unit length, of wire AC. Therefore G by R is equals to resistance of wire LG is equals to lambda into LG, and resistance of wire LR is equals to lambda into LR. So here lambda will get cancelled, and G by R is equals to LG divided by LR. Means the ratio of these two resistances will be equal to the ratio of these two lengths, LG by LR, for Kelvin's method. Here, to calculate the resistance of galvanometer, so we just take R on right hand side, and therefore we will get the equation G is equals to R in bracket LG by LR. With the help of this formula, we can calculate, if we have known value of R from resistance box, we can measure the length LG by meter scale, and we also measure the length LR, and by putting this value you can calculate the value of galvanometer using Kelvin's method. Or this formula can also be written as, here G is equals to R in bracket LG. LR means 100 minus LG. LR means this is 100 centimeter. If you from 100 centimeter, if you subtract LG, then you will get here 100 minus LG means LR. So that is why these are two different formulae to calculate. These are two different formulae to calculate the resistance of a galvanometer using using Kelvin's method. So I think all of you have got the idea to use Kelvin's method. So with this little information about the Kelvin's method, you become very much clear regarding the formulas and circuit action of the Kelvin's method. Kelvin's method is very simple method to calculate the resistance of a galvanometer. Instead of galvanometer, you can use any device of which we have to calculate the resistance. If you follow this experimental method while doing experiment, then there is no problem in calculation and while taking the reading. While using the Kelvin's method, you have to adopt the same precautions as we have done for meter bridge. You have to repeat the number of readings by interchanging the resistance box and galvanometer. You have to take care that wire should be of uniform thickness, and you have also to remove the contact resistances, the number of readings, that is after 2 or 3 readings, if you interchange the position of G and RB, it will become very much better for your result. So, this much of precaution you have to take while doing the experiment, and don't forget that the reading of galvanometer without touching the jockey to the wire AC should be in between 10 to 20 division for better result. So, with this very short introduction about the Kelvin's method, we will move over towards next article, which is very important, that is potentiometer and principle of potentiometer. So, I think that you become very much better idea regarding this experiment. So, we will move toward our next article, that is potentiometer.